And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth. Center around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to entertain, educate, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone, save our Consumer Advocate Hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby, don't forget my number.
Don't forget our number. At some point, you're going to need it. Also, we want you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. Consumerqb.com is your ultimate resource for all things real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning. Over 80 show partners now between our two brands, the Real Estate Quarterback Show and the Consumer Quarterback Show. And, again, we just want to help you win. We don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. I want to entertain, educate, enlighten, and engage. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida. This segment is brought to you by Michael Vogt, Back in Health Massage, expert massage therapist, my massage therapist, helping people with neck, back, shoulder, hip, and leg pain feel better. And he's located on Gun Highway in Tampa, voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the readers of the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards. Also, a big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. And let's go ahead and round the horn here. Make our introductions today. Back in studio, Mr. Mark Spence. He's the Vice President of Integrity Financial Services. Welcome back in, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be back, buddy. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the Fed and what they've done and not done with rates. So interest rates are still low and opportunities are high for buying in the Tampa Bay area.
That's right. Tampa Bay, one of the best markets in the United States. Just recent article came out as well, talking about rent in Tampa getting more expensive faster anywhere else in Florida. Yeah. So the rents in Tampa are rising.
Yeah, and home sales are 20% higher August over August, year over year.
Unbelievable
Awesome.
Opportunities. People that are waiting, it's, you got to get off that fence. And also in studio, we got Christopher Cano, Florida chapter, Central Florida chapter of National Organization of the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Welcome in.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Good stuff.
We're going to talk a little bit today about legalization of marijuana, where it's going in Florida, and moving forward, what opportunities there are for entrepreneurs to get involved in the industry.
That's right. Awesome. Love it. We had one of our attorneys talking about that on several segments back, talking about some of the the opportunities and some of the patent. He was an IP law attorney, trademark attorney, talking about the different things happening and the opportunities. It's all about opportunity. It's all about you as a consumer. We want to help you sort through a lot of the nonsense out there in the mainstream media. Let's face it, we live in this cynical world where the mainstream media, whether it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC, whichever one you choose to turn on sometimes, they're all going to try to dilute things happening. They're going to show you the negative, the sensationalized side of the world that we live in. But there's so many good things happening behind the scenes. I've talked about on previous shows Bill Gates and some of the great work he's done as far as eliminating polio. So we want to stay positive here on this show, talk about the positive things happening, opportunities that are relevant for you to live a better life. And I got to tell you, before the show in the green room, we had some awesome flan here. Big shout out to Joe Lopez, Naati Flan out of Tampa. And if you're watching our TV show live stream, this is the best I've ever had. It's awesome. How's that, Josh? Coming up good? Yeah. So check this out right here. Awesome flan, wholesale to restaurants. Anybody that's looking to try it out, it's excellent. Joe Lopez, Naati Flan in Tampa. Great dessert treat. My daughter loves it. I was mentioning, Joe, before the show, my daughter would love this. So he gave me one to take home. But, yeah, awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into this content. And, the number one goal is to help our consumers win out there, Mark. And we see a lot of geopolitical things happening. There's all this frustration in the media trying to push it down our throats. But, really, if you take a step back, we can only control certain things in our lives. So when it comes to finance, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you just see so much in the news with the politics going on and what everybody's saying and not saying. And at the end of the day, you just got to take care of yourself and look at what you can control.
Yep.
And honestly, right now, you can control if you're renting, go out and try to buy something today. Start building wealth today.
That's right.
Especially in the Tampa Bay area where prices are just soaring. And honestly, first-time home buyer prices are going up.
Yep.
So the quicker you can get in and start building wealth and take advantage of these low interest rates, you're going to be that much better off.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about rent versus own analysis before in the past, and maybe I'll let you explain it, and then after that, we'll tee it up, and we'll go ahead and try to let some of our listeners either call in or text into our hotline.
Yeah, it's really an opportunity that I think more and more you really have to look at it. This is the time. I mean, we've said it before, but I don't know if we've gotten any closer. Once the election hits, things are going to potentially change. Yep. Janet Yellen, the Fed chair, has definitely said they want to raise rates twice before the end of the year after the elections. So those things can really change your market overnight. And if you can get in and look at what you're paying in rent, I mean, apartments today are easily $1,000, $1,300 a month. I mean, you know what you can buy with $1,300 a month at a rate in the mid threes on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage with 3.5% down.
That's right.
That's what you have to look at.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that are saying, I've had more investor calls in the last 60 days than I have had in quite a while.
Flippers.
Yeah. People that are saying, I've got the cash, I've got the crew, they're getting these houses flipped in 30 days.
Yeah.
Turning houses, and they're getting 30-year fixed loans at 20% down. That's all they're doing is putting 20% in for 30 to 60 days and flip the house and make $50,000.
Yeah.
If you know how to buy and you have the crew, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody knows you make money on the buy side of real estate. You've got to buy the asset right. We also hear location. Well, first off, we're here in Tampa Bay. So St. Pete, Clearwater, Bradenton, Sarasota, Polk County, great area here in Tampa Bay. And then also you couple that with the fact that, we have opportunities as well through our networks of finding these off-market properties. These are available to cash buyers or even people that have some money down but will utilize a hard money loan. And maybe talk about those advantages.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing you have to look at is the banks still have a lot of properties that are not being released. Mm-hmm. There's no inventory. So buyers are out there wanting to purchase a home that they don't want to put any work into it.
That's right.
They want to buy the house that they walk in and they don't have to have the vision of what can I do to fix it up.
That's right.
If you have the guy that can do it and you can go in and have the vision and put it in and put it to play and get it flipped and get it in a time period like this where there's no inventory, it's sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about time value of money, how fast you can turn the asset. We've also talked about in previous shows as well about, if you buy a duplex, triplex, or a quad, now you've got 3 or 4 rental incomes coming in on an asset.
Yeah, and I mean, do an FHA loan, you can buy a 4-plex property and occupy one unit and get a 3.5% down loan.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's understanding the products and working with mortgage lenders that understand what are out there for you so you know what your options are.
Right.
I just think people they get caught up in I'm going to go to my bank. Yep. And at the end of the day, the banks, in my opinion, are not where you want to go. They don't specialize in mortgages.
Yeah.
It's just a product they offer. You want to work with a mortgage lender that truly understands the options, availability, and how you can get approved and get the best option available to meet your needs.
Yeah. And our listeners, we have some great listeners. We've had great feedback, and we're batting 1,000%. We have not had one negative comment about any referrals that we gave through the show, through connections, by calling our hotline at 813-917-1894. Text or call that hotline for any advice, any types of connections you need, 813-917-1894. Call or text. And so my point is that let's go ahead and squeeze this rent versus own analysis in there, Mark. So what Mark and his team will do is they'll do what's called a rent versus own analysis. Simple, plain English, plain numbers, right on a spreadsheet. On one side, it's going to show, okay, here's what I'm paying in rent. Here's the amount of money that I'm paying my landlord's mortgage for him every month. What a great person you are to do that for him. But what we want to do is we want to get you on the other side of that fence, okay? We want to get you into home ownership, low money down payments, no money down programs as well for some. Mm-hmm. You also have the lowest mortgage interest rates in 40 to 50 years, and probably that we'll ever see. You also have an appreciating market in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater that we just talked about, 20%, 15%, different areas. So you're getting into a performing asset. It's an insurable asset that you can have peace of mind. Okay, what if flood? What if something happens? fire, okay, you're insuring that asset. And then if you couple that through buying it through an IRA as well, you get tax advantages on top of it as well. So let's go ahead and do the first 5 listeners that reach out. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a rent versus own analysis for the first 5 listeners. Go ahead and text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our Consumer Advocate Hotline, 813-917-1894. Text rent now to 813-917-1894. And Mark Spence and his team over at Integrity Financial Services is going to put together this rent versus own analysis for you. It's going to really help you take control of your financial future, help you leave a better legacy for your family. Leave that better legacy for your kids, for your family. And, there's so many positive things to look at. Mark, when we come back, I want to focus in on our veterans as well, talk about our veterans, the 100% financing. And you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host here, Real Estate Quarterback Show. Owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Recently featured in Florida Realtor Magazine. Most recently, just last week, Top Agent Magazine did a 2-page spread as well. And we're interviewing for another television show. A lot of cool things, a lot of great momentum, positive happenings around the Real Estate Quarterback Show and the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I want to touch on a couple of hot listings I've got here. We've got a nice entry-level starter home. This might be exactly for one of those renters that are texting in. This is 4648 75th Avenue North in Pinellas Park. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath property listed at $149,000. And it's a great entry-level type of a home, maybe even a passive opportunity for an investor to put renters in the place. But it's a great buying opportunity, entry-level home, 4648 75th Avenue North in Pinellas Park. Also got a waterfront beauty here that I'd love for you to take a look at. It's 8156 Causeway Boulevard South in St. Petersburg. 33707. Now, technically, it's Treasure Island. It's 8156 Causeway Boulevard, Treasure Island. Rather, it's technically St. Petersburg, but wide canal views of Boca Ciega Bay. Beautiful property, newer seawall, and it's over 2,200 square feet, over 3,000 total square feet, listed at $646,000 from Platinum MVP Realty, our premier sponsor of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, and great buying opportunities in Tampa Bay.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, Mark. So one of the main points I like to talk about and I like to stress to our listeners is, and it's really, it boils down to, if you really think about it and you search deep down in your gut, you drive by these big major banks. We all know the big names. We've seen them. We heard them. We actually gave them our money. We all gave them a little bit of our money through the tax bailout, through the bailout of the Mortgage Relief Act and all that good stuff. So then what do? They took that hard-earned money of our taxpayers, thanks to us for doing that. And what they did is they went out and they bought the best prime real estate on every corner of the block. You're talking corner major intersections of Kennedy's and Del Mar, all these major intersections. And then what else did they do? Oh, they gave their CEOs these golden parachutes and said, oh, yeah, here you go. Here's millions of dollars on the way out. You did a good job. They're rewarding these people. So my point is shop local, work with the local lenders. Mark and Tony over at Integrity Financial Services, they're local lenders. You sit down with them. You can develop a relationship. They've got a boutique style office here with Integrity Financial Services, and they provide the highest level of service when it comes to mortgages.
Yeah, I mean, the way we look at it is, customer service. I mean, everybody can say they do a great job at it, but for us, we don't have clients that walk in our office the next day when we don't close their loan on time.
Right.
We have to, do the best job possible every time, and we pride ourselves that way. Yep. And, just like the show has no bad reviews, I mean, we have hundreds of great reviews from local people that use us, and I think that's what makes us proud, is that we try very hard every day to do the best we can for all of our clients, and especially the people that come through the show. I mean, it's all about helping our local community grow.
That's right.
And get better. And I think the more that's why we educate people on many products as much as we can, because we don't know what's best for you.
Yep.
You might be looking for a primary residence, and then we bring up an FHA fourplex, and they get an investment property at the same time they buy a primary.
That's right.
So it's just understanding and educating people and giving the best information, and knowledge is key. And, right now, again, buying power. I mean, if rates go up 50 basis points, you're talking about a $60,000 potential difference in purchase price.
Yeah.
I mean, and with the market in South Tampa and St. Pete as well, I mean, those first-time home buyer prices are going away quickly. So get in and start making the opportunity today. And, the investors buying with their investment properties, maybe looking at using their IRA funds. People aren't doing that anymore.
That's a good point.
And I think that's, again, educating people with, the stock market is just legalized gambling, in my opinion. Real estate, you have a lot more opportunity, to hold, and everybody knows if you can hold your property, you're gonna generate revenue and wealth over time.
Even in the worst times, if you never sold, you never realized that loss. If you kept that asset, you plugged a renter in, people have to rent, they have to live somewhere. They have to have a roof over their head.
And they're paying your mortgage.
That's right.
Okay, and at the end of the day, that one thing for sure about Tampa Bay is your values are not going to go down. They're only going to go up over time.
That's right.
Everybody wants to be in Florida.
Yep.
And that'll never go away. And with all the baby boomers up north that are looking to move and bring their wealth from New York and Boston, and they're going to sell those properties for large amounts of money.
Yep.
They're going to come down with cash and money in IRAs. Well, why use cash when you can buy it through your IRA and you get a loan?
That's right.
And leverage the money.
Yep.
So, again, it's just education and explaining that to borrowers. So, I definitely would say, too, veterans, they don't use their eligibility. There's veterans that never have used their eligibility. I mean, it's the best product. One thing the government did right is VA loans.
That's right.
And I'm proud to say that.
Yep.
And, veterans, have opportunity to buy up to a home up to $1 million with probably 5% down and get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage with no mortgage insurance. There is no one else that can do that.
And the lower price properties are zero down, right?
Zero down up to $417,000. And I think that's a misnomer. A lot of banks don't go over $417 on VA jumbos, but there's VA jumbo opportunities out there.
Mark, I had a great pre-show interview with this gentleman right here. I'm holding my camera up to him, but this is First Officer Leonard Stevens, and he is 94 years old. He served in many wars. He was one of the first glider pilots, and he, some of the stories that this gentleman shared with me in our pre-show interview yesterday was really amazing. And he met the Pope. I mean, he's had some awesome. The story was the Pope wanted to know, how do those gliders fly if they didn't have an engine? So he basically had orders to go, get in his Jeep, drive over, go into the Vatican, go meet the Pope, and explain to him how these gliders flew. Was like a slingshot action off of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so interesting. So my father was an MP in the military. Many members of my family, pretty much all of our listeners out there, we've had somebody at some point that's been in the military, or a cousin, or somebody that's in that position. So we have a special program for any types of veterans, military, first responders, active military. And what we want to do is Platinum MVP Realty. What we do is we'll give anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 point rebate back from our commissions, from our either buying side or selling side commissions, back to the client. And then, Mark, I know you guys have some awesome programs as well.
Yeah, for sure. On all of our VA loans, we don't charge any origination charges whatsoever. So that's number one and foremost. The big thing that we also do is we do have a lender credit up to $1,000 that we give back towards the bottom line closing costs that are associated with the loan. Yeah. So, I mean, between the origination charge waiver and the lender fee, you're talking almost $3,000 off the top.
We're practically
giving them if you're giving them 1/2 point, that's easily probably in this market with an average sale price of $200,000.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking it's $4,000, $5,000. That's going to cover all their closing costs.
Yep.
So really, with no money down and no closing costs, I think that means zero out of pocket.
That's right.
I don't think you're going to find anything better than that.
They just have to have the VA certificate.
You just have to have your certificate of eligibility, and we can get that for you in 48 hours. You don't need to have it. So just call us for more information. That's the big thing, is people need to understand their options, and and do it up front. Don't wait until you're ready to go look at houses with Brandon.
That's right.
You need to do it 6 months in advance. Start the process. Get pre-approved. Work with a lender. Understand what the rates are. Understand what the payments look like, and really make an educated, best decision for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great buyer agent team that will take you out, show you listings, take a look. We'll set you up on a search account that is much better than all those other automated websites that shows you the new inventory that hits, because it's, as Mark knows, it's a tight market in terms of inventory. There's not much opportunity. There's not much inventory on the marketplace. As well, just a reminder, consumerqb.com. If you want to get Mark's contact information, consumerqb.com. Just click on the Expert Contributors tab. You'll see Mark Spence there. And as well as you can call our hotline at any time at 813-917-1894.
Welcome to my
813-917-1894. A little wake up for our listeners there.
And that's a really key point that you just said, Brandon, though, because the way the market is and the way it's so tight and it moves so fast with multiple offers on properties, you have to be pre-approved and ready. When you call, I have to have that pre-approval letter for you in 20, 30 minutes. You got to be submitting that offer.
That's a good point.
And if you're not doing that and you go, well, now I'll go call my lender and get pre-approved and wait 48 hours, I mean, the deal's gone.
Yeah.
And anybody will tell you that in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just want to help you through these processes. It's important to get these things in order. Also, got to give a shout out to William Crawley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. Teaches you how to opt out of pre-screening, cut off a lot of the junk mail coming to your mailbox, reduce your chances of identity theft, and get you in a position to purchase. Sometimes when you start that process, these days there's so much identity theft that's out there. Stuff showing up on people's credit. Mark, you're seeing that?
I mean, I'm just going to tell you point blank. I had you have to order tax transcripts on every borrower to make sure that they've filed their current U.S. tax returns to close on a mortgage. Mm-hmm. And this week alone, we had 15 what we call Code 10s.
Wow. Code 10
is fraud and identity theft.
Identity theft is rampant, man.
So understand that and don't think it can't happen to you, because it can easily. So anyway, just make sure you start the process early. And William Crawley has helped so many of my clients and just raved about him.
Good.
So don't be afraid if your credit if it's not that great. He can help you and get things eliminated for you.
The Credit Magician. You got to call that audible. And the Credit Magician can help you with that. So stay with us. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes, your host. expert contributors in studio. When we come back, we're going to talk with Christopher Cano as well. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening with us. And consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation. Visit Pasco County, Florida.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. The hotline, as always, 917-1894. Program it in. Save our number. At some point, you're going to need it. You might want that credit package that William Crawley offers. 917-1894. All you have to do is call or text that. You might want to talk to Mark Spence, get pre-approval. 917-1894. Call or text. And Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're on daily, 7 p.m. here on 1250 Wins, WHNZ. It's your most important hour on the radio. Also on the weekends on the Bone, on 102.5 The Bone as well. And all of our shows stream live from WeBeam TV as well as our website, consumerqb.com. Just click on the live stream. And we're back here in studio. This segment is brought to you by Hula Bay. It's the official restaurant partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And go say hello to Mike Finnegan down at Hula Bay. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, sushi, a wide array of types of food, and just excellent service. Great ambiance there. And let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for a free water with lemon. He's going to hook you up on that. Also, a big shout out to Smart Move Moving and Storage as well, the official moving partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Smart Move Moving and Storage. And I've got a couple of hot listings here. I've got a commercial opportunity in Oldsmar, 700 St. Petersburg Drive West in Oldsmar. And it's $295,000 corner lot, 1/4 acre MOL with 50 feet of frontage, 700 St. Petersburg Drive West in Oldsmar, as well as $1 million listing here. I've got 18003 Cozumel Isle Drive. This is up in the Corey Lake Isles. Gated community, all of the cool features that a gated community will have. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, split floor plan on the water. It's got an infinity edge design pool, just one of the most elaborate, awesome pools I've seen. Modern chic design, 24-inch glass tile. I mean, you can literally see through the stairs all the way down. And it's listed at $1.199 million, and it's 3,690 square feet heated. Another great buying opportunity in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right. So we got Christopher Cano in the house here, Central Florida chapter of the National Organization of the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Welcome back in. Welcome in.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So maybe to give us a little overview about what your day-to-day, what you guys are doing.
Sure. Well, CFLNORML is dedicated to reforming marijuana laws here in Central Florida for all responsible users and ensuring that they have safe access. That's the mission. And a lot of folks ask us every day, well, what happens when Amendment 2 passes? What happens when it's finally legal? And there's so many intricacies in regards to marijuana policy, especially since marijuana prohibition has existed in this country for 80 years and it's spread internationally. And so that being said, there's so many things, everything from worker protections to consumer protections, that are still going to have us continuing our mission, ensuring that there's safe access for all responsible users.
Yeah. So Amendment 2 is on the ballot coming up around a month or so. What are the details of that, or what is that about?
So Amendment 2 this election cycle is a little bit different than Amendment 2 last election in 2014, and there was a lot of critics who had issues with it. So it has been streamlined. Doctors no longer have immunity for writing recommendations. They've listed specific illnesses that are required to get it. You have to have a chronic debilitating medical illness that has certain symptoms, and of course you need to have a legitimate patient-doctor relationship. And any licensed physician in Florida should be able to recommend that if they feel that's the best treatment option for the patient.
Right. Yeah. You see the videos and you see these stories of people that are struggling with different types of normally like seizures and some of those different types of stomach issues. I mean, there's a wide variety of issues that come up when it comes to this topic.
And the reason that cannabis treats such a wide spectrum of issues is because it deals directly with what we have in our own bodies called the endocannabinoid system, which is something that regulates our immune system. It regulates sleep. It regulates appetite. And so those are things that are so intricate to human life. And so that's why you see such a wide range of illnesses able to be treated. Essentially, what you're getting is vitamin supplements out of the cannabis plant. THC, CBD, the main components of the plant act as essentially vitamins for what the human body naturally isn't producing. You may have some type of deficiency due to a disease or condition that you might have.
So Amendment 2 passes. Let's fast forward here. It's not like we're going to be turning people out on the street saying, okay, go sell it now. You're allowed to sell it. I mean, I think so many people, especially some of the old timers, they have in their mind, the negativity side of it is it's kind of like a passed down.
Sure.
Just listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he's one of my favorites, and he was talking about in his laws to inner peace, and he's talking about have a mind that is attached to nothing and open to everything. So when you think about it on that level, it's something that as progression happens, this seems like an area that's going to pass.
Well, prohibition itself is an outdated model. It's an outdated model of criminal justice. It's an outdated model that should be left back where it was. I mean, there's a reason why we overturned the 18th Amendment. We didn't want to see prohibition of alcohol, and it's sad that the prohibition of cannabis, which came out of the same Jim Crow era of prohibition laws, has continued, and it's become the form of institutional racism in this country.
Yeah.
And we see that even local communities all across the country are moving towards decriminalizing or asking police police to move it as a very low priority because they see racial disparities in arrest. For example, the city of Lakeland last year arrested 401 people for simple cannabis possession. 201 of those arrests were black men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the numbers are on the wall, and you can extract it however you want. But local communities are doing what they can to adopt decriminalization ordinances. Tampa's done it. Orlando's done it. On November 9th, the city of Lakeland's holding a public hearing to do it. So there's good policies moving forward, and you don't have to get into the halls of Tallahassee. If you want to get involved in the movement and overturn prohibition, you can get involved locally. You know, you can come to that public hearing in Lakeland on the 9th. On Tuesday, the Hillsborough County Commission is holding a hearing to actually ban dispensaries in Hillsborough County. And that's a big concern because people are fighting so hard. And, you know, what are they supposed to do now? You know, you won't have any local access. And that's just not right. We need to ensure that there's going to be local access. True Leaf is actually building a dispensary right on down Mabry and Waters here in Tampa. And it should be open in the next couple months. So that being said, I mean, for someone like with my family and my dad who has dementia and who, you know, we've had to go to the black market for so many years just to treat him, having the opportunity to go down the street to something that's tested, to something that's safe, to something that I know says, okay, this is okay to give him and this is what he needs to get better. I mean, that's a life-saving treatment that we couldn't ask for.
If you just joined us, you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host. That's Christopher Cano, Central Florida Chapter, National Organization for Reform of Marijuana. Were you about to chime in?
I was just going to say, you know, for a consumer out there like myself that is not informed that much on this subject, but is very interested because of personal reasons like yourself, you know, when you talk about a ban being potentially voted on in Hillsborough County for a dispensary, so does that mean then if it passed, then they would not still be able to dispense in the Tampa Bay area?
It's essentially a moratorium until the politicians decide that they want a license and come up with different rules and structures. And it's sad because I lost my grandmother on Monday, and I lost her to leukemia. And she didn't, she was always a stickler for the law. She was like, when it's legal, you know, I'll be happy to get off these pills. I'll be happy to try it. And I'm like, you don't understand. You can take the oil now and get off these 13 pills that you're taking. You can get away from these drugs that are killing you and shortening your lifespan. And she was just a stickler to the end. And so Amendment 2 opens up the opportunity and opens up the door for this statewide. But you're going to have a lot of local governments that are cracking down because they have these very conservative elements there that are clean prohibition, whether it's for financial interests or personal interests or just absolute ignorance. And that's the sad part, is that education is the key to moving forward with this policy.
What was the movie by The Rock that was about this topic? Because I remember seeing that The Rock was in it, and Susan Sarandon was representing the legal system. It was a very interesting movie. You got to check it out. Somebody's listening that knows that. They can call our hotline 917-1894 and weigh in on this topic. And so it's interesting. You know, it kind of talks about that. Now, so let's talk about, you know, the typical, you know, what happens if it starts trickling into high schools, middle schools, and being a gateway drug for the youth.
Well, here's the thing. The Attorney General of the United States has already admitted it's not a gateway drug. All right. So it's clear that our top cop sees that and see that that's always been propaganda from the get-go. Furthermore, we see in legal states, like especially in Colorado, youth use is dropping. It's remained flat across the country. And when you have a legal regulated market, just like cigarettes, you know, if cigarettes were illegal, you'd have plenty of youths getting access to them, but there's not a single legal place that is not going to ID you. So it's not like kids are going to be able to walk into a dispensary without getting ID'd, without having to show a doctor's recommendation. So, you know, gateway drug is just a myth, and it's a scare tactic because everybody's afraid about their kids. You know, in Colorado, they take out billboards every Halloween. Can you tell the difference between these candies and these marijuana candies? And what if they're giving them to your kids? I know of no cannabis patient that wants to part with hundreds of dollars of their candies, you know, and their medicine to give them to kids. That's not going to happen. It's just a red herring.
Yeah, and in any industry, you know, you're going to have good, better, best. You're going to have some bad people, and it's you know, unfortunately, many times it's the media that's going to push it one way for political gain, for monetary gain, different things happening. And just want to make sure, you know, as our listeners as well, you know, we're not advocating either way. We're just telling you, hey, here's what's going on. We invited Christopher Cano in here today to talk about it, and we're right down the middle. We're not Republican, Democrat. We're not any of the political lines here. We're not a religious show. This is all about consumer advocacy. So we want to give you the truth, give you the information, let you decide the truth, and ultimately decide, you know, for you or your family what your decisions are. And you know, we take great pride in being that consumer advocate for you, as you know. So stay with us. More from our expert contributors here in studio. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, published author. Our book is coming out, and actually it's on Amazon now. Check it out. The second book is out. Become the MVP of your industry by surfing the radio waves, now on Amazon. We just placed an order yesterday. We've got the book signing event coming up as well. And a lot of cool things happening, interviewing for another TV show, a lot of positive momentum, a lot of cool things happening. And I want to thank our listeners out there. I want to thank all of our expert contributors as well. It's definitely, truly a team effort here, all of our team around us here with the Quarterback Show. And I've got a real estate listing that's back on the market. Any entrepreneurs, developers, builders, got to check this one out. It's on Gardner Road in Tampa, just south of the Citrus Park Mall, 27 acres, and it's currently operating as a ranch. 27-acre ranch, 7504 Gardner Road, back on the market. We had an investor that tied it up for a while and was trying to change some of the zoning. Currently, it's R4, so if you want to build some high-end custom homes, beautiful property listed here at $1.27 million, and it's 27 acres in beautiful Tampa Bay, just south of Citrus Park Mall, and it's close to the Veterans Expressway. So a great central location. 8211 Brent Street, number 838 in Port Richey, Sand Pebble Point condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condominium. $389,000 includes a boat dock, 2-bedroom, 2-bath waterfront condo, Sand Pebble Point, 1,400 square foot living space, and a beautiful unobstructed panoramic views of the Gulf of Mexico. Great, great opportunity here in lovely Tampa Bay.
No shoes for sure, and no problem.
All right, so here's another story we were talking about. It says rent in Tampa is getting more expensive faster than anywhere else in Florida. Report from the Tampa Bay Times. Over the past year, rental prices in Tampa had jumped 4%, almost double the national rate, almost 4 times the Florida rate, according to apartmentlist.com. As of September, the median price for a 2-bedroom Tampa apartment was $1,200, in compared with $1,300 in St. Petersburg and $2,360 in Miami, the state's highest. So it's interesting. You know, we talk about it a lot, Mark, and you have this, this continual perpetual system where, people are buying properties. The hedge funds did it for a long time. Yep. They were taking millions and millions of dollars. They were putting it into real estate and then turning them into rentals, adding that to their portfolio as a REIT, a real estate investment trust. So we've seen this happening. And
you see that. I mean, they were very vocal about holding those properties for 5 good years.
Right.
You're into year 2 or 3 now. So they're doing everything is working out perfectly for what they thought they would happen. They come out of the recession, they've got all these properties. Now you're paying a lot to rent, and there's no inventory.
That's right.
So, are you going to wait around until they decide to sell at the top of the market?
Right.
Or buy today and be ready to buy when a property is? Because the one thing I will tell you, there's more people that never sold during that downturn.
Right.
Because they didn't have to. They were in a good situation, or they were upside down and they couldn't do anything, but they got modified or got some kind of help or relief from the bank at some point, and now they're able to. They've all built equity now.
Yep.
I mean, there's more refinances going on now with people getting cash out again of their properties. So it's truly there. So if you're a buyer, there's opportunity. You just have to be ready and know what you want to buy and know what you qualified for and know how much money you need.
Yep.
And be ready.
Yep.
And I think that's the part that people need to get is get with me, figure out what you can qualify for, figure out what you want to buy, figure out what you need. So when you buy right and you can get it, you're ready to go.
That's right.
And if you have credit issues, you get them fixed now.
That's right. William Crawley, the credit magician, best in the business. And, attention sellers as well. If you're a seller out there thinking about selling a property, we'd love to do a comparable market analysis for you. The first 5 listeners will do a free comparable market analysis. Text now to 813-917-1894. Text value for a free comparable market analysis. Basically the same thing. You pay $500 for an appraisal. 813-917-1894. And, what else you see?
Yeah, that was another thing about that we're seeing more due to the market. That I think your sellers would enjoy is the fact that they can literally potentially get a contingency on their current property on a new property.
Right.
Because the sellers on the other side know that it is hard.
Yep.
And so if you can get a contingency on your existing property to say, hey, I want to buy your house, but I can't do it unless I sell mine and get my equity.
Yep.
I mean, that's even more reason to do it because then you have opportunity of another 30 to 60 days to go find a property.
Yep.
And you already know if you find it, you've got it sold. I mean, that doesn't happen in a normal market.
I love it.
And that's just, again, people don't realize that. So they don't even call you because they think there's no way I won't find anything. I'm not going to, and I'll sell my house so fast I'll be homeless. That's what I hear all the time.
So many misnomers out there.
Exactly.
We've, and Mark, they can go and watch our videos as well on YouTube. Just watch our YouTube channel, RAQB Show. About that. Let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round here. All right, top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. We're going to go around the horn here, and we're going to talk to Mark first here. Top consumer tips, BP, Integrity Financial Services.
My honest quick tip today is, if you haven't bought a home and you're renting, please call and give us an opportunity to at least educate you on what you could qualify for. If you don't qualify today, how we can help you get qualified in the future and get you to the right people. The one thing about this show is everybody on this show is here to help the consumer, and we'd love to earn your business, but at least I can tell you this, we're going to educate you and help you get going forward in a path of purchasing a home. But do it now. Don't wait, because buying power is going away, and you need to get qualified up front and be ready. And if you want to buy something, you'll be amazed, I think, with the low down payment options that are available today. And if you're a veteran, please call. You got an opportunity of a lifetime to get into a new home. And especially if you just bought one a couple years ago and you're a veteran, you might have $100,000 in equity, sell it, take that, and put no money down again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, lightning round. Christopher Cano. top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid, things to think about.
Most important thing you can do is educate yourself. Visit CFLNORML.org. Check out the myths versus facts and the science behind cannabis therapy. Get online, do some Googling. Check out the great advances that are coming out of Israel in regards to seeing cannabis being used as a treatment for Alzheimer's and diabetes, and really, the things that affect Americans every day and how it can help with age-related illnesses, especially if you're a senior. That's one demographic that we noticed last election cycle did not turn out well for Amendment 2. And if you're a senior and you want to learn how you can get off the 13 pills a day and switch to just cannabis oil, there's a great opportunity out there for you, and there's a lot of things that you can do to educate yourself to make you a wise consumer.
Excellent. Love it. Love it. And my motivational minute here, consumer tip of the day, is about the law of intentionality. A lot of times you sit down, if you're talking to a mentor, they'll say, well, what's your personal development game plan? What's your plan around the personal development? How are you going to improve? How are you going to get better? How are you going to make more money, be more, do more? And it's all about the law of intentionality, which says that unless you set an intent, you're not going to be able to develop that personal development. You got to set the intention, and then you got to go out and you got to read the books. You got to pull up the audio books on your. That's just the one I love to do, is just pull it up on SoundCloud or something like that, and listen to the audio books every day. Develop those habits. I look at my personal development as a race. Because when other competitors, people out there are, lollygagging, taking time off, sleeping in, whatever they might be doing, I'm focused. I'm utilizing what Tony Robbins calls no extra time, net time. So as I'm, going on a walk, I'm listening, I'm feeding my mind. As I'm maybe doing laundry or some kind of a household chore, I'm feeding my mind. I'm growing and I'm developing. And I love to share that to businesses and organizations as well as a professional speaker. So if anybody wants to engage us, we would love to talk to you about, some of the different talks we can give, some of the keynotes we can give to your organization, your club, your group. And real excited about that. All right, let's see if we got time for another round, Mark.
I would say Integrity Financial Services is here for the consumer. Anybody looking to purchase or refinance, we'll go ahead and do the first 5 people to call a $1,000 lender credit.
Nice.
Right off the top for anybody that's looking. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you've automatically got $1,000 going your way. And if you're refinancing, we'll pay your closing costs. We can do that. We can get you a credit. You can even shop out your loan with all your closing costs paid and see what that option is. There's so many variables that we can do, but you got to call and get the information and educate yourself.
All right, first 5 listeners, you heard it from Mark Spence. He's the VP. He can do that. $1,000 off. Or towards your closing cost, $1,000 credit, lender fee credit, however you want to state it. First 5 listeners that give us a call or a text at 813-917-1894. That's our hotline. First 5 listeners, take Mark Spence up on that offer, $1,000 credit, 813-917-1894, and also consumerqb.com. About 30 seconds for you. Christopher?
Well, October 13th is our next meeting. That's a Thursday for Central Florida NORML. We meet quarterly at our offices in Ybor City. Everybody's welcome to come on out. The meeting's at 6:30 p.m. And if you mention that you come to the meeting, you mentioned about this show, we'll give you $5 off your annual membership.
Nice. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for doing that. I want to thank all of our expert contributors, all the folks in studio, all of our team behind the scenes making it happen, all of our listeners out there. Thanks so much for contributing to the show and being a part of this movement that we're pushing through, helping educate consumers, making you more street smart out there, giving you that helicopter view of the marketplace every Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. To 8 p.m. right here on 1250 WINS WHNZ. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food, handing to that person on the side of the roadway that you see out there. They're starving. Do something kind for another, and let's make the world a better place. We'll see you next time, same time and place.